thunderclap to make sure that we are all back and concentrated. Shayla. DJ, please prepare a nice song for us. We have a special request. We have someone that has requested to come onto stage and dance for us while we wait for the committee. So we will now call on Marion to come onto stage to dance for us. Thank you. Let's go, Marion. Yeah. DJ, the best song. Don't be shy. You asked to dance.
Icebreakers till this, because we couldn't continue the session with them like this. So I think if you can talk to Oma for them to go outside, because they are causing a distraction. No one knows that people are quiet or they don't know how to do.
Now they need to be quiet. No, but after this, what was the plan initially before I told you?
What are you doing?
We're just going to do icebreakers till the community. Because you see,
Just do something on stage. All right, we will now welcome Triple F Production to have a brief presentation for us as we wait for the committee. Take it away.
DJ, thank you. DJ, a round of applause. A round of applause. Guys, we have come from lunch. Now the energy needs to be extremely top notch. Say extremely top notch. You see the first day, the second day's energy, and today's energy. You're compiling all those energy to one awesome, amazing energy, okay? Are you ready? Are you ready? Let me hear the round of applause. Awesome. That was actually amazing. So, we are going to start the program. So, what you're going to do is we are going to have group presentations. You remember you guys went into groups in this hall, right? Group 1, 2, and 3, 4, right? Right? We did, right? So what you're going to do, we're going to have the representatives, right? You guys chose representatives. And then the committee members who compiled your document. Okay? The committee members, the children committee members who compiled your outcome statement and your recommendations. Okay? Okay? So are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? Okay, so let's have Team 1 come to the floor as the DJ gives us a tune. Team 1, Team Uno. Oh, the kids. We start with the kids. Okay. Hello? Hello? Are you guys ready? Are you guys ready? So this is what you're going to do. We are Team 1 and 3 and 4, right? But what you're going to do is allow us to start with the little children, okay? Say the little children. We are going to start with the little children from 11 years old all the way down. You see, they're also been given a chance to present on what they discussed, right? And what they came up with, okay? So do we give them a chance? A round of applause as they come to the stage. A round of applause.
So now it's then I think you just improvise a bit. But it's supposed to be now the child is here.
Shike. Nani mwingine anashika? Samleka aje side.
Hello? Hello?
Nyi wakubwa. Ndio nyinyi kuja. Good afternoon. My name is Jewa Njiro. I am from African Goal Organization. I'm 11 years old and it does sports and social development, and you are going to represent teamwork 6 to 13. More books in Kenya. More books in school. Because who will explain?
Because we need more books so children can read more and experience education.
And advance their education. Big classrooms will explain.
For children have a space to read and to get educated.
Remove children from streets because
they really need a place to live.
Another one.
And And we also need children to have a safe environment to sleep, eat, and rest so they can have a good, healthy life.
Talk to adults to stop abusing children. Explain.
If the children talk to adults, they may release their stress and the adults may know what they want.
Another point.
And also we can talk to them so the children cannot grow up while knowing the bad things that their parents taught them, and they can grow up teaching even the younger ones.
Feeding families. Why?
So some of our mother or fathers, they are not have money to feed children.
Providing food and clean water at school.
So that we can avoid many diseases like cholera.
Another point.
And we can also grow up healthy and strong and live a good life.
Allow children to play.
So they can exercise their bodies and grow healthy and strong.
So that they can have a good health.
Free education.
Children can grow up knowing what's bad, or they can even know words, how to spell or write.
By 6 p.m., all parents should be at home.
To spend time with the children. With the children. To spend more time with the children.
Another point. Another point.
So the children cannot be lonely. So the children cannot be.
To stop children trafficking. Explain.
If we stop children trafficking, some of the children will get trauma for their lives.
To stop children arrest.
Instead of children getting arrested, they might be corrected in a more friendly way.
Help children with special needs.
We help children so they can grow up with a good life, and they can also socialize with others about it.
Help freedom of speech.
Because children need to express themselves. Because children need to express themselves.
Stop early pregnancy.
Stopping early pregnancy can stop less pain to young girls.
Another point.
We can stop early pregnancy so the children can learn more before they get children and even know how to socialize with the children.
Free health services for children. Somebody to explain. Free health services for children.
I think we need free services for children, like Rwanda. They give, Rwanda. They give free medication, but you have to clean the streets and your house. If they find a speck, they won't give you free medication.
Another point.
Another point is so children can stop getting sick. Like Turukana, many children are dying.
Another point.
Thank you for listening to our and you're welcome for this time.
It's called teamwork.
Well, blah blah blah.
Can we all please give Group 1 another wholesome round of applause, please? Well done. We will now invite Group 1 that was discussing here in the conference center. So may we please have the representatives of Group 1 that were in here from the 4 groups. So can we please have 2 of your representatives? Oh, all of you?
Hello. 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 Can we please try to settle down? At the back? Hello, at the back. Can we please try to settle down? Okay. So, good day once again. My name is Tijan. I'm from Sierra Leone. And This is a cross session of Group 1, and we did a presentation on child participation and ending violence against children. So, from the first day of the summit until yesterday, we've discussed many issues affecting children in terms of child participation and violence against children, out of which we have outlined the things that we should discuss about today. So
May we all please settle down and listen to the presentation of Group 1. This is very important. Please, can we all settle down and pay attention?
Okay, are we ready? Okay, so as I was saying, in Group 1, we focused on 2 points: child participation and violence affecting children. So from the 2 days of the summit, we have put together things in terms of violence affecting children and child participation. So now, this is a cross session of Group 1, and we are going to outline these things which we have highlighted for you. So starting with child participation. We know child participation is not something that is new to us, and it's our right as children to be involved in each and every tiny aspect of decision that is being made for us. Because normally where I come from, we normally say decisions taken for us without us is against us. Because come to think of it, you can't sit in your offices as officials, as decision makers, assuming for children that this and this is what to be done. No, that's not what we want we as children want active participation. We don't want you people to see us as passive recipients of actions that you take, but we want children to be partners. We want children to be partners with leaders, to be worked with and involved in each and every decision in their homes and communities at government level and each level that you find yourself that you're doing actions or decisions for children. So this is basically what child participation is about: the involvement of children in decision making in every aspect of their life that defines them. And the roles of us as children: yes, we can say government has a big role in child participation. We can say our parent has a role, the community has a role. For now, we highlighted some roles that us as children should consider in terms of child participation. So for us children, we too have a role in making Africa a better place for us. And some of the roles that we have in child participation, we say children should encourage each other. We should be one another's keeper. You know, in schools, when you go to school, you see your colleague having a moody face, you see your colleague crying. You as children, you should be looking out for each other in schools, in communities, even in your homes, your brethren, your brothers, your sisters. We as children should look out for each other wherever we find ourselves. Our second point was children should know their rights and responsibilities when it comes to participation. Yes, we are children. We are advocating that we need a right to participate, but with every right comes a responsibility. Just because we will be given the right to participate doesn't mean that we should just participate anyhow we want to. We should do it in a respectful manner as the outcomes will be good. And we also say we as children should be held and meet frequently in our homes, in in summit like these, summits that is which involve decision making, which can change the course of put in advocacy-led project. Wheresoever there is advocacy for children and government and NGOs, we want to see us children being involved in such advocacies. We want to see us the front line in advocacy involvement. So in the aspect of child participation, these are some of the things that we have lighted. I will throw the mic over to my colleagues. They will say about the other aspects which we discussed. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Yunesta Manka. I'm from Our Lady of Mercy Secondary School, South B in Kenya, and I'm discussing about violence against children. From our discussions, violence against children is any form of abuse towards children. And there are different forms of violence like physical violence, emotional violence, mental violence, and even sexual violence. And so we discussed the prevention measures against violence, and the first one was counseling. So we have realized that students are experiencing depression and stress in schools, and this hinders them from participating in different activities. So the number of counselors should increase in schools to help the students participate in those activities. And then enforcing security. For example, in maybe election times or this maybe wars in different countries, we should enforce security in our countries to ensure that the children are safe providing correct or reasonable punishment to children in schools. That happens in many schools in different countries. So the teachers should provide reasonable punishment to the children in schools, and the community should be educated on the importance of children's rights, because some parents are illiterate, hence don't realize the importance of children's rights. And the last one is government to take action on cases of violence. Many cases have occurred, but no action has been taken, so we are urging the government to take action on such cases. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Mokava. Now I'm going to discuss about call to action, or you can give it another name. Government to enforce security for children. Another one is implement what children need, like schools, the materials we need because it is our right. We should also include children in decision making, not only in policies, but also meetings in school, in the society, and any other meeting that involve them. We also need restrictions on discipline methods that are given to children. Children should be made aware on their rights so that they can know when they are not being given their rights. Child helplines should be made popular so that children can report. Like in my school, 116 is only known by about 5 people. Children need to be supported by parents, by the society, by their schools, by the institutions, so that they can have a better future. Also, violence against children cases should be dealt with very perpendicularly, and we also need to stop discriminating children based on their gender. That is the call to action that we need in order for us to curb the effects that it has on us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Group 1. We will now call on Group 2 to make their presentation on what they discussed in their group. Group 2, make your way to the stage. A round of applause.
Hi everyone. How's everyone? Can I have some smiles in the room? Show me your teeth. Tell your neighbor to show me your dental formula. If they don't show it to you, it means they don't have teeth. Tell your neighbor you don't have teeth. Okay, so we are group 2 discussing. We were given a task to discuss on climate change and education. So my colleagues and I were going to explain more about it. Okay? As we all know, I'll do it again. My name is Francine Twambomwale from Zambia. I'm 16 years old. I'm just like a child like you. But you can call me 5. It's okay. No problem.
My name is Eliane. I'm 13 years old. I'm from Kenya, and I'm going to be presenting climate change. So basically, we were compiling like what Group 2 did about climate change. So climate change is a long-term shift in temperature and weather patterns, and the causes of climate change are pollution. Air pollution is pollution caused by harmful gases like carbon dioxide and carbon monoxide. Light pollution is the overuse of electricity in cities and towns. Noise pollution is if a market or a stage or a public place is near a school and the noise can disturb the children, which ends up disturbing their learning, like if it's next to a school. Plastic pollution is the accumulation of plastic objects and particles in the Earth's environment. Deforestation is also a cause of climate change, which is excessive cutting down of trees. The solutions that they came up with was for pollution. Industries that dispose their waste wrongly should be penalized or educated to not dispose wrongly. People and industries should use renewable energy and ban all uses of fossil fuels. And the government should spread awareness vastly to people, schools, communities, countries, etc., about the harm of fossil fuels and single-use plastic and all the harmful things that can cause climate change.
We aren't clapping. So, having that wonderful presentation on climate change, I'm going to start on education. So, education is not just about a teacher standing in front and educating children, but it's an exchange way. A teacher can also learn from a pupil. So, group 2, we were discussing the resources that you need to get education. So, the safety and security in schools. Here, this is where we have in Kenya, schools don't usually face mostly insecurities. Why? Because most of their schools, they have secures. They are secured with security and protected. The other one, in South African schools have a lot of gun storms, which the government only makes its first priority, other it has been consistently mentioned. Why we go to school? Most of the children don't know why they go to school. If you ask a child as, why do you go to school? Let me give a demonstration. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Why do you go to school?
Help my mother when I grow up.
Okay, so we have a good enough reason there. Excuse me, why do you go to school?
I go to school to learn more things.
Okay, so we have children who have a deeper understanding as to why they go to school. Yes, others we may have our own reasons, but we need to remove that mindset of saying I go to school because my parents tell me to do so. So we need to learn, or rather to educate us as children. We need to enlighten ourselves in order to understand the reason as to why we go to school. Because not every child knows, and would really appreciate if as a child as you are, 7, 5, you're given career guidance to just really help out. So the reasons as to why we go to school, group 2 gave out the following reasons. For development mentally, that is by gaining knowledge. So children go to school in order to broaden their understanding. The other one, to interact with the others. We need interaction. Not everyone has siblings at home, but at school, that's our second family, where we have aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, cousins, and also parents as our teachers. The other one we have to build a good foundation for the career basic skills. Like I said, as young as we are, 5, 4 years, we need to be given career guidance so that by the time we are 18 years, you already know what you want to do with your life. We are having many cases whereby a child finishes their final exam in grade 12. That's where they end from. You ask them what they want to become, then they give you a response saying, I'm just waiting for my results. So we need career guidance as young as we are. The last one is what career you want to pursue that is in future and what is needed to get it. So my colleague is going to explain more on that one. Thank you. A round of applause. Loud, I can't get you. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Kayanet Shalagat. I'm from Kenya and I'm 17 years old. So I'll be talking about the resources needed. In Kenya, education is not really free. I believe the government can do something to work on making everyone receive free and quality education. We all deserve to learn, and we all deserve to learn in a way that is going to help us and be beneficial to us. I also believe the government can work on giving resources to schools to help all of us to access all these things, because not everyone is able to get the money to either buy uniform, the books, and all that, the materials they need. So I believe the government should work on implying ways that they can get these schools these resources. I also believe that we can work on educating parents on why it is important to educate your children. Many people still believe that their children need to still be in their cultural way and follow their cultural practices, and they end up not going to school. I also believe that each school needs to be receiving adequate sanitary towels for the girls. I don't think that a girl should be missing school because they don't have sanitary towels. That will affect their education and their concentration in school. Yeah, I believe we can all get enough sanitary towels for girls to attend school and be comfortable in school. Yes. Also, we need to have a safe environment, a safe and conducive environment for learning. We are all going to school to acquire knowledge, and we need a good environment to acquire that. I believe that we could also make sure that schools receive enough food, because many kids go to school to get the food, and that's what they need to learn and be productive in school. Yes. Thank you very much.
Can you please give them another big round of applause? So can I please have group 3 to come present their work? Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I'm Anna Wangeshi, and we are Group 3. I'm going to discuss about the recommendations on health. So, as we all discussed, we recommended that we as children need free medical attention, since you might find that most of the parents might not afford to take their children for medical attention. Number 2, we need children counselors, since we might find children are undergoing mental health, or they have been discriminated and they need somebody to talk to them and advise them. Third point, we need to create awareness of certain diseases and mental health. You might find most of our parents or the guardians we have are not aware about some of the diseases which are upcoming, and maybe they are not aware about mental health, which is affecting most of the children today.
Hi everyone. My name is Aisha Lubanga and I am from Nairobi, Kenya. I'm also going to talk about health just as my colleague has. So we should create awareness on the disadvantages of some cultural practices. Cultural practices such as FGM or early marriages affect children's health very much, and we should try to create awareness so that people can stop such cultural practices. We should also construct dispensaries in rural most areas. Such areas maybe do not have dispensaries or hospitals, and we should construct so that the children, if they get sick, they are treated. And if they do not have dispensaries, may they get sick, they are not treated, may lead to more sickness or even deaths of the child. They should also try to set policies to medical personnel who practice discrimination. Such policies will help in bringing justice to children, or also will help for discrimination of a child to stop. Such discriminations can cause health problems to a child, such as mentally or socially ill. Thank you.
Hello everyone. My name is Niyomugabe Diogene. I'm from Kigali, Rwanda. I'm one of beneficial from Children's Voice Today, an organization which is non-governmental, which practices children's rights protection in a country, Rwanda. I here to represent my group 3, where we was given a topic to discuss on, which was Harris on the media and technology. I'm going to focus on some recommendation in which we discussed about media and technology. As group 3, we discussed and we recommended that there should be media should be more accurate with that is flowing them. Here to mean that the children must follow the media which is for them and which is more important message for them, which can prepare their future in future time. The second point recommended is that there should be the different segment between adults and children. As you know, the adults and children are so different spiritually and psychologically, because as name suggests, the adults are the adults and they are mature. They have high ability to know which is bad and which is good, so that there must be total difference between the media and technology which is consumed by children, because they are so different. The third one point is that is to create awareness about the dangers in media and technology. Here, I think that a lot of people who is in this room had listened to violation which is done technologically or electronically on internet, so that this should be eradicated and avoided. So the parents must play a role in eradication of that, where the parent must put or set a limited time for their children when they can consume technology and media they must also make sure that their children is following the important media which can change them to be in a good future. They must also protect their children to follow those shameful videos such as pornographies, which cause them to have maturity sexually, but in age they are still young. So this cause early pregnancy and teenagers get pregnant. Thank you.
Hello. Okay, sounds so bored. Oh my goodness. Hello. Okay, my name is Karen Rukoma, and I am here to add on the points that my friend here has said. Um, the the internet, it's a broad, huge thing. Everyone knows that, and there's some various places in the internet that are not child friendly. So we would like the media in general to create awareness about the dangers on the media and technology to children, small, big, whatever, even because there are some things that on the internet that are not safe for children to watch. Also, they cannot, like, let's say they're watching something that can traumatize them. Let's say like there's a news broadcast, like live news of people being shot, and what if the child, like a small child, is watching that? Won't they get traumatized? Yeah. So the internet, parents in general and adults should create awareness for the dangers in the media, and also the media should also bring out more educative content for children and adults, and yeah, more educative content so they can learn more on the internet. And also, we should eradicate excessive content displayed and exposed to children. We should try and get rid of that content that children cannot understand, and make the internet safe for everyone. Thank you.
Can you please give them another round of applause? So I'll call upon the last group of the day, which is Group 4, to come and present their work. Thank you. You guys only have 5 minutes on stage. Please. 5 minutes.
Put your best points forward.
5 minutes. You all have 5 minutes.
Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, we were Group 4 and we were discussing on 2 topics. One was internet safety and the other one was access to justice. So we are going to highlight some of our recommendations that we'd like the policymakers and the government officials to put into action. So first, we'd like that they get time, that we be given time and opportunity to meet various leaders who influence the policies that concern us as children, so that we can give them our views and they be put into action, not only in writing but also in action. That is for the government. Also, would like the government to be more intent with their decisions. On any decision they make, they should not make it more theoretical but rather practical. An instance is when during the COVID-19 pandemic, we had a curfew. And the curfew stated that everyone should be at home at there was a certain time, 10 p.m. But the government didn't consider the children who live in the streets. The police, it will reach at 10, and then the police start chasing those kids away. Where do you expect them to go? They are street children in the end. So the government should at least maybe plan for a housing so that they could be helped rather than just chasing them away. We'd also like that there should also be a continued need for better data and evidence to inform violence prevention and response strategies that can be effective. When we mean data, we mean that they keep records, collection, so that when another pandemic or disaster appears, at least we can refer to somewhere where at least we did this thing and it worked. And for us as children, we also had some actions to put into place. We, as the voices of other many children out there in Africa, we also decided that when we hold our meetings with the local leaders and authorities to the global level, we'll be putting our records so that each and every promise that they tell us, when they are in record, the next time we meet and they do not fulfill this, we can bring out that document and show them that this is what you guys signed and yet you have not put it into action. And lastly, on access to justice, we have decided that also as children, we will be approaching the leaders with facts and evidence after doing our research, statistics. A good example of statistics, we can say that on sexual violence, out of the 54 countries that we have in Africa, only 11 of them have taken action against the boys being harassed. Normally, most of the boys do not come out and speak openly. But out of the 11, only 11 out of the 54 that we have. So the government should look into that also. Thank you.
Good afternoon. Yes, I said my name is Gita Ogdinji. Yeah. And I want to add on what my colleague has said. So there is this issue that should be handled seriously. Here in Kenya, the police, they always demand for something before they take action, which we call kitu kidogo. Yeah, here in Kenya, we call it kitu kidogo. So, it is not good. They are somehow unfair because a child cannot come to the police station to report something and then you demand for something from the parents. You should remove something so that they can take action. That is not good, and it is not in the constitution, and it is not also part of the law. So I hereby end with two questions to our Honorable Chief Lady Justice Teresia Matheka. My question is, why do police ask for money, which we call kitu kidogo here in Kenya, as I said? Yeah, that is my first question. My second question is, do we have an assurance of decrease of FGM cases in the next summit? Because that's what my friend talked about. So I was just here to echo it. So note them down so that we can be helped. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about basically safe spaces. So the internet does not have any safe spaces for children. The only thing that kids really do have is like YouTube Kids. That is the only thing kids have. So we need to, make more platforms. Like let's say, imagine something like Google Chrome Kids. Not a lot of children can, use Google Chrome because they search something up, something they want, they'll be spammed with ads. It doesn't matter what kind of ad it is, it's still an ad. So they'll be spammed with ads. So we need to make like more child-friendly apps and just more safe communities for children, so children can, learn more from other apps. That is basically, the first part. And if you want to, monitor your kids in those apps to make sure those apps are child-friendly and, safe to use, parents or someone just, older than you should monitor your kids while they are using these apps, because it doesn't matter if it's safe or not. You do not know what your kids are, using. So I'd advise you just see what your kids are doing, or even if you get them a device at a young age, just make sure they are, it doesn't matter if it's nice or not, because not everything is safe. Just remember that not everything is safe. So yeah, that's all I have to say.
To add on what my friend has said, another thing that we feel like can be done about online safety for children is to monitor app makers by putting restrictions of them. This is in the sense that there are apps that have restrictions. Let's say you want to open an app, and before you install that app, they ask questions like, what age are you? What content do you want to install? I can give an app of novel app. It's an app for novels. When you install that app for the first time, they ask you what age are you, what content do you seek to Google or something like that. So if something can be done about these app makers, it's something similar to creating safe spaces for children. There can be restrictions on the same app instead of having it. If we say it may be hard to create a whole new app for children, we can put restrictions on those apps which will be able to restrict children getting some harmful content. And also these app makers can be restricted by being told that you can not post this kind of content and this kind of content because it will harm our children. Another thing is to not hold back on the punishment that they give to the offenders. There are so many cases of cyberbullying that are happening, and such cases that happen to children, and it happens that maybe I may be bullied online and I block and report, but that's as far as it goes. It will happen the next time. I will be bullied the next time, but nothing will happen. Or I may tell an adult or a child helpline or something like that, but the punishment they'll get will not be enough to guarantee or secure me. So our calling is that the punishments given to these offenders who bully and manipulate children online get a bigger punishment than what they are getting. And also according to our adults, that is parents and our guardians, sometimes the children are left with their phones. I am with my mom's phone, but my mom has not told me that this app has adult content. Or when my mom purchases a phone for me, she doesn't advise me that you should not go to this, you should not go to this, you should not Google this, you should not Google this. That calls for basic information to be given to the children, because you cannot deny the fact that this is a technology era, and we cannot say that we restrict children from accessing the internet, because it's an era that you cannot eradicate. So instead of restricting children, we can advise them on how to be able to use the internet. And lastly is to make counseling affordable, because something that cannot be prevented. Some of us have already undergone cyberbullying, and it has hurt us so bad, and it has affected us so much, such that we cannot be able to know how to handle another case like that. So if counseling can be made affordable, so that you can be able to be talked to and advised how to deal with this matter, and also those who have not undergone this risk can be advised what to avoid, what to do, and what not to do, so that they cannot go through what others have gone through. Yeah, that's all we had.
would you read? Can you hear me?
Yes.
You should read this the statement on access to justice, the points one by one, because they're important.
Okay, so we're going to read our outcome statements. 1. Get time and opportunity to have dialogues with the right stakeholders in our communities and the government. 2. The government should correct the police. The government should correct the police, counseling them on how to treat children. We should not be treated as adults. 3. If the counseling doesn't work, a punishment should follow. They should give us a chance to do a follow-up on them and guarantee trust in the justice system by working on the backlog of cases in the sense of speed and efficiency. This will help us as children to know that we can trust our justice system, so that if I have a case and I've reported it, it has been helped, I can tell a friend to do so. But if I have a case, it was not considered, how am I going to tell my friend to go and report the same case? And then give opportunities for education on child's rights and freedom so that they are able to know when violated and be able to speak up. This goes to the Constitution, those who make the policies. The terms that you guys use are normally hard for us as children to understand, because normally when you're arrested, you're told that you have to acquire a lawyer so that they can help you understand the terms used. But what if this could be made more simple for a normal child to understand, so that even me, if I'm caught in the wrong, since I can understand the Constitution, I'll know that whatever I was doing is wrong. But if you arrest me and I don't know if what I was doing was wrong, and it's the Constitution, it does not help me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Group 4. Before we move on to the next segment, I have a quick announcement. If you have seen Michelle's notebook, please bring it forward. It is decorated. It has highlighting and stickers on the notebook. Oh, sorry, no, it doesn't. So if you have seen Michelle's notebook, please bring it forward. It is very important. You found it? Oh. We also have another notebook that is missing. It belongs to Lisa Thuguri Kariuki. If this belongs to you, please come forward later and come fetch it. Before we go on, may we all stand up to stretch out a bit. We have a little exercise we have for everyone to get us back in the mood and back and energized. DJ, no music, thank you.
that wonderful energizer. Thank you, Margaret. Thank you, everyone. Can you please give a round of applause? So up next on the program, we have Felista Wamaita, who wants to do a presentation based on dyslexia. Can you please give her a round of applause? Thank you.
Hello, can you hear me well? Am I audible enough? Okay. My name is Felista, as you heard. I want to talk about dyslexia. May I ask a question? Who knows what is dyslexia? Can you say?
I'm saying it's the way I understand it's like a reading disorder where the person who has dyslexia may not be able to see the letters the way we see them. They may be jumbled up, they might be jumping in front of your ears, they do funny things when you look at them. So you can't really read like everyone else reads. That's how I understand it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Anyone
you.
else?
From what I understand, dyslexia is the inability to read properly. That it's a condition or disorder that someone is born with, the disability to read properly.
Can you be audible enough?
From what I understand, dyslexia is the disorder of not being able to read properly. Thank you.
That's a correct answer even for you, okay? It's correct. But you should explain it in a good way that everyone can understand. Okay. Actually, dyslexia, can you concentrate? Okay, dyslexia is a learning style which a child cannot read, spell things, or when they see the words, they see them jumping like that. Yes, like the way, yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. Oh my God. Okay, can I repeat what I said? Actually, dyslexia is a learning style. And some people think that it is a disease or an illness, but it's not. It's when a child have difficulties in reading, spelling things, or they see words jumping, dancing. The way that you see words straight on the line, you know, a ruled book or a mathematics book, but they don't see it like that. Like, let me give for example, like number 6. When you turn it upside down, it's 9. And 1, they cannot read it. Even they cannot read 1 to 10. Actually, that's what dyslexia is. And I wanted to say that I'm a child with dyslexia, and I'm not ashamed of it because it's a learning style. I did not finish. I actually wanted to say that I'm a child with dyslexia, and it's not a disease. That's why I'm standing here. If it would have been a disease, I wouldn't have been here standing saying about dyslexia. So I wanted to say that if the government would have just helped people with dyslexia, that would have been good. And that's the end of my speech. Thank you.
Yeah, you can go.
Thank you so much, Felista, for opening up and for challenging our different governments to try and include dyslexic children in our communities and to make reservations for them. I hope we have all taken note of that. We will now move on to our child representatives, and we will start with Mark Okuo. He is from Kenya. He will be making a speech on behalf of children. A round of applause for him.
Good afternoon, all of you. Good afternoon again. If you are happy and you know, say amen. If you are happy and you know, say amen. If you are happy and you know, and you really want to show, if you are happy and you know, do this. I'm really, I'm sorry for that. So, hi everybody. It's really nice to see all of you. You look tired and you had already eaten lunch. What's up with you people? You should still chill up. So, my name is Mark Ouko. I come from Kenya. I am 17 years old. I am an admit student of the African Leadership Academy in South Africa. I am also part of the National Students' Council of Kenya, where I am the secretary in charge of sports under the KEPSHA organization, the Kenya Primary Schools Heads Organization. So my purpose of being in front all of you here is to give a wake-up call. You know, one interesting thing in Africa that was once understated by some professor in Tanzania. He said that in Africa, we live in a certain non-vicious cycle. That many a times what is logical in Africa is not practical. And that which is practical is not ethical. And that which is ethical is not desirable. And that which is desirable goes back to the first thing I said, is not logical. So Africa, we will have many great African summits. We will have many children summits to be held like this one. But at the end of the day, we must ask our question, do we actively involve the young people of this country? Where is the active involvement of young people in this country? And when we do not involve our young children, these young people in what we do, you want to talk about climate change, but you want to drive your child to school every day. Why can't you allow them to use a bicycle if you can afford? Right? So the day-to-day involvement of children is very important. Even if you look, for example, in our country in Kenya, the people who make the hugest population of the voter apathy in Kenya was the young people, because these young children feel they are neglected. People just make policies every day, but nobody involves with them. Nobody will tell this child that what is your role towards climate change and such things. And more what saddens me as a person is that it seems like this policy making, once we congregate in many summits, once we congregate in many places in Africa, it's as if we shift all these policies that we have summed up to the intellectual class. Then these young people, these people that we would have wished to implement these things, are left out. We are talking about, I've seen the African Union Agenda of 2063. This great initiative was started way back in 2015 on the 31st of January by the 24th Ordinary African Summit. But if I go back to the village where I come from in Moroni, I will tell you, if you talk to every 20 people, you'll only get maybe one person has ever heard about that. It's because once we do all these summits, we neglect the implementation part in Africa. We neglect involving young people. And I'll wish to summarize what I'm saying by this. There's one man who once was quoted who said that if God gives you a child and you will that you are too busy to involve this child, you are either making a positive change or a negative influence to this child. And many a times it's the negative influence. So my wake-up call as we come from this African summit, engage young people, engage the African youth, engage them, make these young people understand what we are saying. These young people, we do not just want to bring them in summits, yet after we go home, they just say they were in African summit, but they do not understand what's the purpose of this. May we engage young people. Thank you.
our second child representative, can I please have Newo Mawetu on the stage? Thank you.
There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. This is a powerful quote by the late statesman Nelson Mandela. My humble greeting to our esteemed guests of honor, chaperones, media, and more importantly, the children. My name is Neo Mawetu from South Africa, representing Nelson Mandela Children's Fund. It gives me an immense pleasure to deliver the vote of thanks for this event to all delegates assembled here. I would like to thank our chief guests who took time from their busy schedule to honor this function and listen to children. I would like to thank, most importantly, the children for your opinions, thoughts, and most importantly, your issues that would like to be highlighted. You gave a full meaning to the theme of the event. You were seen, heard, and engaged. Thank you for the presence and your great contributions to the summit. I hope and call on to the chief delegations to ensure that the next summit to follow on is held within the next year and to make sure that more children in the world are seen, heard, and engaged. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for honoring the time and schedule for us to attend and be here. And I hope more children will be seen, heard, and engaged. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Newo. And we really hope that us as South Africa, we get the opportunity to host the next Africa Children's Summit, looking to keep the flag flying and to ensure that all African children have a voice. We will now move on. We will now hand over the stage to Fode Bangura from Sierra Leone to also come and say something on behalf of the children.
Thank you very much, our moderators and MCs, for the opportunity again. I actually never thought I would come upstairs again and to speak, actually, because I just wanted to do a closing. So I just wanted to do a closing remark for vote of thanks to appreciate our guest of honors and as well as most importantly our children, and also not forgetting, of course, our chaperones. But it has been said by my peers, and if it has been said, I have to obey. I'm a leader that follows. I lead, I'm behind or beside my peers. I'm not in front always. I'm not like this. No, I'm like this. Let's go. So thank you very much again. So the summit, I would say it has been as successful as I expected, and I'm sure it's also the expectation of every other child here, and as well as our diplomats, because I've been seeing so much smiles on their faces as they are sitting now, everyone is smiling, and which I'm sure their commitment that they've made through their remark yesterday is something they're going to work on, and not just work on. Please, before I leave here, I'm going to take all of your emails, and trust me, I can send 30 paragraphs of mails. Ask them Total News, they can tell you about me. I'm very, very stubborn to find solutions to what my peers are going through. And also, I think it's a great presentations. I want to appreciate all of my colleagues who presented such a wow initiative actually that we did, and I also of course want to say that we work on the document itself, so that one you can receive them later as stakeholders, the outcome statement and the work plan, you can receive them in a document form later, but for now I'm sure you appreciated the ideas and initiatives, and of course the words of encouragement and courageous words that they've given to us as children of this continent, and we are hoping to see a fruitful, of course, outcome. Because just as one of my peers just said earlier on, it's not just about this summit, it's what comes after this summit. We've been in occasions where stakeholders talk, and children talk, they do analysis and everything, but we don't see the outcome. Like in the real world, it's not just about sitting and discussing. So, but we're hoping this time around we work hand in hand. The African Union, I think you'll be receiving an email from me. The United Nations, you'll be receiving an email from me. Like I'll be pushing, pressing. Of course, I'll also not forget, I told you yesterday I'm Kenyan, so the Chief Justice and the Justice Lady, you'll be receiving an email from me. I'm Kenyan now, so which means my full support is for Kenyan children and every other country. We will do this together. It's together. And also, lastly, before I leave now, I just want to specially appreciate the sponsors. If not for them, we will not be here. All of them. I cannot call names. I don't know all of them, so I don't want to receive a call like when after, yo, you didn't call our name. Yeah. So I want to appreciate all of you. You did extremely well, because if not for you, we will not be here and we will not be able to see these diplomats and talk with them and give them our issues and give them possible recommendations that they can use to salvage the issues of children of this continent. We also finally want to recommend that we want to see children in COP28, the United Nations. Please take note. African Union, please take notes. Also the Kenyan government, please take note. And every other government in Africa, if you are online, if you are participating, please take note. We want to see children in COP28 this year. Thank you very much. I remain Fode Bangura from Sierra Leone.
Thank you so much, Fode. So I don't think I will ever forgive myself if I don't do this, because the child representatives have really represented us. So I need all of us here to give them a thunder clap, right? So I'm going to lead the thunder clap with Margaret, right? So can you please use our first finger? So now I would like to call upon our elder representatives. So up next is the Nelson Mandela Children's Fund representative, which is Dr. Linda. Can you please give her a round of applause? Thank you.
My Swahili just left my head because I wasn't expecting to be talking at a summit for young people. I expected to listen and to hear what they have to say. But what I would like to say is thank you, asante sana, to every single young person who's been here. We've seen you, we've heard you, we have engaged with you. And the commitment that I am taking back home is that it would be such an injustice to come and spend 3 days here, for your parents to release you to come here, and we go back to business as usual. So can I speak on behalf of the organizational leaders that are here, that our commitment is to make sure that when we go back to our respective organizations, we are driving the message that says young people are not only the future, they are the present. We are driving the message that says we need to listen to them, to hear what they say makes them feel safe, makes them feel happy, makes them feel heard, makes them feel valued, makes them feel included, makes them be acknowledged that they are as human beings as much as the adults around them. So young people, thank you, thank you, thank you for opening our eyes to seeing the world through your lens. And like I say, my commitment to you is that where I am going back, the country I'm going back to, the organization I'm going back to, we're going to start doing things differently on Monday. Thank you, and thank you again.
Okay, quickly before we move on with the next speakers, we're going to teach you a different way of clapping. So it's called the Coca-Cola Kilo. So I'm going to start off by shouting, let us give her a Coca-Cola Kilo, and then this is how we clap. So I'm going to shout, let's give her a Coca-Cola Kilo. Yeah, okay, so that was just a practice round. So now we're really going to give Dr. Linda Mngube a Coca-Cola Kilo. So can we all do that for her? Thank you, Sikhuputso. We will now move on to the next delegate. May we please kindly call upon Mr. Kennedy representing GIZ. Please make your way to the stage. A round of applause for Mr. Kennedy.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to represent the GIZ, as is, and therefore I would want to stick to the message that I've been given to deliver here. Please allow me to begin by recognizing and adopting the protocols as already established, because we have very many stakeholders in the room, and I would not want to leave anyone out. Having said that, if you permit me, allow me to say that it is my pleasure to be here today and to represent the German Agency for International Cooperation, GIZ, at this groundbreaking summit and a milestone for the children of Africa. I specifically bring to you warm greetings from the German Development Corporation, a program supported by GDC called the Strengthening Good Governance and Human Rights in Africa, and which is also implemented by GIZ African Union Office and the GIZ Country Office here in Kenya. At GIZ, we strive and aspire to work towards creating an inclusive society and shaping a future worth living around the world for all, including children. And that's why we are very happy to be part and parcel of this very important occasion. I take note that this is an inaugural African Children's Summit, and is particularly special to us, as it is not only a commendable milestone towards making children seen, heard, and engaged, but also the first of its kind convened in Africa. And therefore, we thank very much the conveners of this important occasion, as we hope to walk the journey together moving forward. I'm also briefed that the summit discussions since Monday have touched on the most pertinent issues affecting children in Africa. And I wish to take this opportunity to congratulate Toto News on the successful convening of this monumental event. I also wish to take this opportunity to thank the UN Special Representative of the Secretary General on Violence Against Children, appreciate the Vice Chairperson on the Rights of Children and the members of the African Committee on the Rights and Welfare of the Child that have actively participated in the summit and hence making it a success. Indeed, your presence from day one of the summit signifies your collective commitment and the value your respective entities accord to African children and issues pertaining to their well-being. Allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to reaffirm our commitment and support as GIZ through the German Development Corporation. This is principally towards the promotion and protection of children's rights, especially through our ongoing cooperation with the government of Kenya on one hand, the African Committee on the Rights and Welfare of the Child, the civil society actors, including Toto News on the other hand. Ladies and gentlemen, children are our greatest asset in Africa, and it is our responsibility as partners and stakeholders to ensure that their future is safe and secure and that Africa is fit for every child. It is also our hope that this platform will be institutionalized as a regular convening and not a one-off to sustain meaningful participation of children in shaping policies and programs, interventions, especially on issues affecting them. As I conclude, to the children that participated in this summit, a heartfelt thank you to all of you for sharing your wisdom and vision with us. You are our future and you play an important role in shaping the future for the next generation of African children. I trust that we have obtained adequate insights and also lessons during this summit, which will anchor and guide our interventions in the coming days. Asanteni sana, may God bless you. So having said that, and also being a parent, I think I just have one message for the children in the room. And my message is about the values that you need to embody and ingrain in your lives as you take on the future. I think the first value that I wanted to extend to you that you may want to consider is the value of humility. The second value is the value of compassion. The next one is fairness. And lastly, love for mercy. I'm sure if you adopt those three granular and critical values as you prepare yourself for the future and with God ahead of you, with discipline and hard work, you shall be able to encounter and succeed in your lives. May God bless you.
May we please give Dr. Kennedy a Coca-Cola kilo. All right. We will now move on into welcoming the Honorable Al Jera, the representative of the African Union. We welcome you to the stage, sir. A round of applause.
Good evening, all of you. Dear children, ladies and gentlemen, with all protocols observed, on behalf of the committee that I represent with Honorable Madame Sidiku, I would like to thank you for all for your determination for ensuring that the rights of children are your priority, as well as your commitment in promoting and protecting children's rights in Africa. Dear children, I want to congratulate you for the considerable work that you have accomplished over the last few days, during which you showed your capacity to take decisions in the very emotional area that you're representing. Ladies and gentlemen, the summit administered and led by the children, a summit that children controlled on the outcomes and also without, in an unprecedented way, is to be able to ensure that we learn to listen to you better, to hear you, and to dialogue with you, and to act in the interest of children and to respond to your expectations. Dear children, your voice has been heard, and we, by the strength of your witness, testimonies and recommendations, you have pushed us to listen to you, and I assure you that those commitments will be taken, and the voice of African children will not only be heard, but will also be seen to have been done, and children will be incorporated into all decision-making processes. It is the first time that African children united and in this region are talking to the continent and to the entire planet to claim their right to be heard. Dear children, ladies and gentlemen, the future of Africa and its present is on the hands of these children. This is very important for the African child, the role that they take, and a process that is very important for us to invest in this human capital, that the development of African children from countries and the respect of their rights is our responsibility towards them. This inaugural summit, it has a major promise for the African people. The promise that will remain etched in the memories launching of this summit, and to undertake commitments on behalf of the continent and the entire state to learn to collaborate closely with children and to help them to construct the strategies for change and to also exercise their right. I encourage everyone present here to remain committed to guarantee the promotion of children's rights, and it is not in doubt that this work is a precious tool and an enormous potential to contribute towards improving the conditions of children, and especially that we adults listen what children are saying and to commit to listen to them and to act in that regard. Today, the future is in your hands, and you have the responsibility, that these commitments do not remain just a promise. Dear children, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to reiterate the commitment of the African Committee on the Rights of Children to work tirelessly to take into account your declaration, the final declaration of this summit, and by pushing the states to take measures to protect the rights of children on the continent, and also to guarantee that each and every child in Africa enjoys their rights. Long live and that we live in accordance with the Children's Charter and Agenda 2063. Live the children, long live the children, long live the continent. Thank you.
May we please have a thunderclap for his wonderful presentation? Is that the thunderclap we taught you? Louder. 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 Thunder. Thunder. Thunder again. And thunder. Thank you.
So the person I'm about to call now, I don't want that person to walk to the stage but dance to the stage. because I know that she's a dancer. So can Dr. Najat please dance to the stage? Thank you.
To be very frank, I was not expecting to take the floor because I was thinking that the last word were the word made by children. So I have nothing to tell, just to tell you many, many, many thanks and never give up. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Najat, for that very brief speech. Thank you so much, and we are very grateful for your presence. We will now move on to welcoming another very important delegate. We will now be giving the floor to Professor Philip Jaffer to come and give us his words of advice. A round of applause.
3 words. Thank you.
If I'm correct, that speech is incomplete. He told us that it's 3 words, and he only gave us 2. So, okay, no problem. We will fill the rest. Okay, thank you. All right. We will now be moving on to the next delegate. We'll be requesting Mrs. Jennifer Kaberi from Mtoto News to please come and give us a few words of thanks. A round of applause.
I don't have what to say. Thank you, guys. I told guys, people told me that, are you the one who is leading? Are you the one behind this forum? I'm not behind, I'm seated right there. These kids are the ones. I did not come up with a theme. I'll wake up in the morning with the emails. Let me tell you, I'll get long emails. Fode is right. I'll get emails from Fode, from Unaludo, from Longwe, from that guy from Ghana, and they're all coming up with all these ideas. And people ask me, I've been asked this question by so many, how did you invite Dr. Najat? How did you invite all these guys? I did not invite them. You can ask them. The kids invited them. And I want to say thank you so much to the children of Africa. You are not the future. You are the present. And you just proved by doing this summit. We were right behind you. We did not do anything. You guys did everything. And you guys, from the concept to fundraising, Fode fundraised for a number of children to be here. He wrote proposals, and he'll copy. Miss Jennifer, can you follow up with that adult? And he wrote proposals, okay? They wrote the concept. We'll do the program in the planning committee, and then we'll take it to the kids, and they say it is boring, okay? And they'll cut it into pieces and give it back and tell us, can you now make it adult-like? Because it was their concept. Linda, you had the kids. The ball is in your court, okay? So, and it's the kids who determine. This is child-led from the word go all the way. And thank you so much to our partners. As for they say, I don't want to be called and say you missed our name. So thank you so much. Thank you so much, GIZ. Thank you so much, the Joffa Alliance. Thank you so much, Childline. Thank you so much, EPSHRC. Thank you so much, TDH Federation. Thank you so much, the committee, the UNCRG. Thank you so much, Edith. Guys, can you give Edith a clap? She was worked so tirelessly. Thank you so much. Should wake up, let me tell you something, should wake up at night to attend meetings for this summit at like midnight, no? You know how many of you will wake up just to attend meetings? Thank you so much, Kenya Airways. For those, how many came with Kenya Airways? Kenya Airways, They are amazing. They gave us a discount to be able for us to bring as many children as possible. Thank you so much. Really, ACGF, you guys are so many. I don't want to, just because I don't want to be accused I left out anybody. Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, HEART, SOS, APHRC, Rally, Kenya Airways, Elevate Children's Fund, Arigatu, Miss Coach, IAJ, the Commission for Children in South Africa. We have children joining online. Children's Voices today, Play Africa, Advocacy for Every Child Justice. Thank you so much, all of you. You made this possible for African children. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jennifer, for that wonderful speech. So up next is the Lady of Justice of Kenya, Teresia Mateka. Can you please welcome her as she comes to the stage? Thank you.
Hamjambo. I'm sure you've learned the greeting by now because you're in Kenya. When somebody says hamjambo, you say hatujambo. Hamjambo. Habari gani? Mzuri sana. Yes. I must begin by expressing my gratitude to all of you for honoring the invitation by Mtoto News and of course ourselves to come to Kenya for this summit. I don't know, Jennifer, I missed what you had to say. I had to run out to attend to something, but I ran back. You should have seen me running back. I can run. But I want to just say how my heart is full. My heart is full of gratitude. My heart is full because I have heard children speak. I have seen children say things, not just speak, express themselves. I have engaged in a way that I haven't done with children. Because we have children from not just Kenya, where we maybe talk every day, but children from everywhere else. Because when you're here, you're representing so many children from where you come from. And I can tell you, we don't take it for granted. I am sure my brothers and sisters sitting here maybe feel the way I feel, that for once in Africa, we are being held accountable. Personally, I bring the greetings of the Chief Justice. We went to see her. She could not come. She's not feeling very well, but she met us for a few minutes. And she said, and I hope, Jennifer, you sent, did you give that message? If you didn't, shauri yako. Shauri yako means it's on your head. She just said that, niwasalimie, I greet you and I say, for as long as we are here, just know that she is with you. Otherwise, she would have been here with us. So her greetings and her commitment. I want to say that I handed to her the Kigali Declaration because I thought it was important for our judiciary to know what it is and for us to get guidelines from her on how to implement it. So for those people who went to Kigali and came with that, please just know that that declaration is the Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya, and Kenya will be looking at it. Simtupigie makofi. I want to join the others in making my commitment like it was done, making my commitment, my personal commitment, not just as myself, not just as a judge of the High Court of Kenya, but also as the chairperson of that committee you heard about, that is about children, that we will do our best to be able to ensure that the things we have had here today, the ones we can do and implement, we will do. The ones we can't do, there's a lot of help in this room. A lot of help. All these diplomats sitting here, Dr. Mala, Dr. Philip, Madam Sidiku, Mr. Jaffa, and the others who are in the room are going to hold our hands, and we'll follow them just like my brother there, my son there said. We will do that. So thank you so much. When you go back home, just go knowing that you're in safe hands. When you go back home, please do what we said. Continue to be seen. continue to be heard. That means you must speak and continue to engage with us in every way possible. Thank you so much, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Lady Justice. We will now be moving on to another honorable from the African Union. We will now be giving the stage to Honorable Sidiku to come and thank us and to give us words of advice on our Children's Summit. Honorable Sidiku, round of applause.
Bonsoir.
Good evening. Good evening. I would like to tell the children that I accepted the invitation to come and attend this summit. It's not because of the organizers, it's because of children that I came. The Africa Child Summit is the first edition. It is the first time that this summit has been organized, and I didn't want to miss this opportunity. I wanted to be present and be with you, and I was not disappointed to come here. I would like to say that I was very satisfied with what the children have done. We have listened to children. They have expressed themselves in a child's language and everybody understood. But the last concern is that I hope that at the end of the summit, children will not have any problems. We have heard very many voices, and the children's problems have been placed in the boxes. You remember during the first day, the child was that how can we put a problem in a box? We shall put the problem of all African children in the boxes that are in this conference hall, and we shall work to promote and protect children's rights. Thank you very much, dear children.
So there's a quick announcement. Somebody lost a book. It's written in pink and has a pink pen next to it. So if you lost your book, can you please come get it by the podium? Thank you. Yeah, just say.
Okay, now to round everything up, we will be honoring all our sponsors and our partners that made today possible. But because we're children and because we're unique, we always do all our things in unique ways. So we're going to give them different rounds of applause, all the rounds of applause that we taught you, the thunderclap, the Coca-Cola killer, and we're going to teach you one more. So we're going to call out the names, and we're going to tell you the type of clap that we're going to give them. So now the last and final clap is a very simple one. So this is how it goes. Practice. So if I say let's, so this one is just let's give them a hand. So when I say let's give them a hand, we go. So let's give them a hand. Another one, just like that. Don't forget the yo. You must say yo. Then say it. Say iyo. Thank you.
So our first partner is the United Nations Human Rights and Treaty Bodies.
So we are going to give them the thunder clap. So get your hands warmed up. Louder. 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 that was for the United Nations and violence against children.
So our next partner is violence against children. Thank you.
Oh, okay, so I'm sorry, that was a mistake by me, but let us give them a hand. Let's give them a hand. Another one, just like that.
So our next partner was German Cooperation.
All right, so let's give them the Coca-Cola kilo. I know it's the same thing. We also want to give a special clap to Terre de Hommes, which is an international federation for children, as well as Save the Children. We will also give the Coca-Cola kilo. We now move on to Child Fund, World Vision, and Plan International.
So let's start. Louder. 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 Thunder. 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 Thank you.
The next partners, we have Nelson Mandela Children's Fund, the founder of the Nelson Mandela Children's Hospital, as well as HAART. We will give them all three types of claps. So we're going to give them the Coca-Cola Kila, the Thunder Clap, and the Let's Give Them a Hand. So get your hands warmed up. We're giving them all three. So the first one, we're going to give them the Thunder Clap. All right, louder. 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 Thunder. 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 Now let's give them a hand. Let's give them a hand. Another one. Just like that. Oh, we're not done yet. And also the Coca-Cola Kilo.
Now we're giving a hand to the SOS Children's Villages Kenya, the 20 African Population and Health Research Center, and the RELE, which is also known as the Regional Education Learning Initiative.
We will also give them all three types of claps. Warm up your hands. Louder. 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 Thunder. 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 Let's give them the Coca-Cola Kila. Let's give them a hand. Another one. Just like that. All right, and the remaining partners, we have Kenya Airways, the Pride of Africa, Elevate Children, Funders Group, Arigato International, All for Children, MKK Miss Koch Kenya, the International Institute, Play Africa, Children's Voice Today, the Commissioner for Children of the Western Cape, as well as Advocacy for Child Justice.
we will give them all three, and this has to be the loudest because this is the last of all our partners. So get ready.
So we're first going to give them a Coca-Cola kilo. Let's give them a Coca-Cola kilo. Now we're going to give them a thunder clap. So let's louder. 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 Thunder. 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 Thank you. Let's give them a hand. Another one. Just like that.
We will now have a vote of thanks from Omar Hamed. Let's give him a round of applause for Omar.
Hello? Hello? Do we thank God that we have come this far for the Africa Children's Summit? Can I hear the round of applause for the Africa Children's Summit? I want to thank all of you, everyone who was involved in the planning, in the setting. People had sleepless nights, let me tell you the truth. Brian coordinating all the children representatives in Africa. A round of applause for Brian. And all the children who managed to join in the meetings. We are here because of your issues, for you guys to be seen, heard, and engaged. A round of applause for all of you. A round of applause. So I want to say thank you. So at this point, we will do a closing prayer, right? And then after this, we have a goodbye party for all the children. Are you excited? I can't hear it. At this stage, that should be double. That should be double, right? So, moment of silence. Moment of silence. 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 Let's give it some time. Let's give it some time. Let it sink in slowly. Right. Right. Are you ready for the goodbye party? Thank you so much. Asante, asante, asante. So I am going to call upon Elian to come and play, not play, pray. Wah, 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 wah. Hey, hey, you don't get that. Don't cut the entire system. Elian is going to pray for us on the Christian prayer. I'm going to do the Muslim prayer, yeah? Okay? So we will sing the national anthem first, okay? The national anthem first. And then after this, so let's all stand, let's all rise, let's all rise, let's all rise. Okay, so we sing the national anthem in Swahili. And before we do that, DJ, allow me to thank the Boma staff. We are being accommodated at Boma Hotel. I want to thank the Boma staff. A round of applause for them for the amazing job that they did. Thank you. I love the energy. After this, we need extreme energy. Say extreme energy. So moment of silence for the national anthem.
the 3-day summit. We thank you that we're able to complete this summit with smiles on our faces and energy. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity that we're able to see, hear, and to be able to engage with everyone. Lord, we thank you for the opportunity, and we bless your name in the mighty name of Jesus. We pray and believe. Amen.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم الصراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين آمين آمين. Okay, so guys, headsets. You guys know the headsets. Let's please. Are we leaving them on the chair, right? Let me get direction from the back. Are we leaving them on the chair? Okay, take your headsets, children. Let's take our headsets to the back left.
Oh, yeah,